To make an egg carton walkway for your dollhouse, you need a piece of cardboard, that's from a Chewy.com box, an egg carton, and you're going to need to have it be the cardboard egg carton, not the plastic one. I always use wax paper. I love wax paper. Of course, scissors, and I use cut up paper plates, brushes, and my choice is Elmer's glue. So in order to do this, we're just gonna cut our egg carton. There's no right way or wrong way to cut it. I just cut it in strips. My scissors aren't the sharpest. So I just keep cutting. And then I cut them in different lengths. It depends on you, what you see in your mind as far as how your walkway or patio is going to look. And I use different sizes. So I cut them in different lengths. I'm just straightening it off a little bit there. And I just keep cutting. I'm doing this for filming at the table, but usually I do it while I'm watching YouTube. And I'd rather have more than less, so I'm going to cut a little bit more. I don't want to have to stop, halfway through and start cutting again. I just want to keep going. Now on here, even though it has writing, you can paint over that, so you can use that part. The paint will cover that. This is really easy, and it's really good. It looks good with the dollhouse. Gives it dimension, gives it character, gives it texture. So we're ready to glue. And I do it in sections, and I do it in sections because the cardboard really absorbs the glue. So I found that when I would get to the end, I'd have to re-glue. So I just go in sections. It doesn't take that long. And now this becomes a puzzle. There's no wrong way or right way. It's just how you want to do it. I do leave some gaps sometimes in between where there would normally probably be grout. It just depends on how I'm feeling when I'm making it. And I just keep going. And I don't really pay too much mind to it. Now some of the pieces are they're gonna stick up a little bit, and that's what I really like about these egg cartons. Not only do they have the texture on the carton, but when you cut them, they tend to stick up a little bit sometimes. You don't have to have them do that. I just really like the way it looks. The more dimension and texture, the more your eyes pull to it. So there we go, we're at the end. I think all in all, from start to this point, it took about 18 minutes. Of course, this has been cut, edited. And there you can see the texture. I hope you can see it. Where some of them are kind of sticking up. So now what you're going to do is just put a cover of glue over it. And that just ensures that everything's gonna stick together. It's not coming apart. And I do fill in the gaps in between with the glue, because then that makes sure that the sides of it will stay glued down. See, I'm going in between there and just getting in between it all. This is pretty sturdy. And there it is. And it looks good. Almost looks like a chimney. And then I am an overuser of wax paper. And now, this is going to dry. I'm going to let it dry overnight. So here's the next day, and you can see that it's darkened in color from the cardboard and the egg carton absorbing the glue, which is a good thing. But what I'm going to do here, I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to prime it, but I'm just going to prime it in white. I had an antique white paint. It doesn't make a difference. You're going to cover it with another color. It just kind of makes it that the color that you're going to use to paint it with will be a more true color. Because if you're going to put the color, I'm going to do this in gray. So if you're going to put the gray over the egg carton, it's going to be a little duller. The white underneath it, like with any primer, is going to give you more of a true color. It could be an extra step, but when I build my dollhouses, I prime them all white before I paint them, so I get the true color. And when you're creating something, building something, you want it to come out the best that it can, so that you're pleased with your product. And I do get the white paint down in the grooves too. So there it is. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're just priming it. And then it's going to dry. So that dried for about, I'd say 15 minutes. It was a pretty warm day. And now I picked gray because it's just a very neutral color. And I think that was a granite gray, and I had a silver gray, and I think I had an ash gray. You can use one color, you can use two, you can use four. It's up to you. It's however you create it, whatever you see in your mind. I didn't shake that one enough. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of skip around. There's no reason for where I put the paint, except that I put it on the little egg carton square. Just kind of all over. And I'm going to fill it up with all the different colors. And as we keep going, they'll kind of all blend together. I don't want to use just one color. I want the eye to really see just a lot of stuff. Makes you want to keep looking at it when it's interesting, kind of like a painting. So here I've got, on the second color. And there's no reason for it. Just kind of go around and, paint is so forgiving. So if you don't like a spot, you put one color, just let it dry and just repaint it. There's really no mistakes to be made with this. It's a really good project. And it adds a lot to the house. Gives it character. I had a really good chalk paint color. I think it was called Mineral, but when I went and I opened it, it was all dried out, so I threw it away. So here you can really see the different colors coming out in this. And you can see the texture and some of the little bumps on the end of the egg carton pieces. And here I'm just kind of going in between where I had left some little openings for like a little grout. So you can see it's really kind of taking shape. It's kind of looking like a walkway. And like, I said, you can do it as a patio too. You could actually do your whole house like that. So that dried, and now we're back again. A lot of dry time, but the paint doesn't take that long to dry, not like the glue. So here I'm just going to kind of mess around. Just kind of give it a little bit more shading. I don't know if you would call it shading, but kind of like shading. And I'm just thinking of what I'm going to do. Just kind of going around, putting the paint over paint and on the edges. I like to mix all the colors. Trying to show you there what I'm doing. So you're kind of going along the edges, kind of. I mean, you can make these in any color you want. Whatever color complements your house. See, I'm putting the other gray on top of the other gray. And now this little dauber, I have in the past used that little dauber and I didn't like it. You know what I use? A wadded up paper towel. And this is my little dabber. So I take some of the excess paint off and just kind of daub it around. Kind of make it look worn. Like maybe, I don't know, dirt deposits or I don't know. Just kind of give it a little, see how the little dauber work, not the dauber, but the daubing with the paper towel. Once again, I think it adds a layer of texture and dimension. Sometimes the simplest things work the best. Isn't that the truth? Now I'm going to come back with the gray paint. And I'm going to do more. There's no rhyme or reason for this. It's just wherever you kind of feel it should go. Paint is forgiving. You can paint over it. Here I wanted to lighten some of the gray grout in between the egg carton pieces. So I just kind of went around until I liked it. Just to lighten it up a little bit. There's so many shades of gray. I'm just using the ones that I had. Trying to show you what I'm doing. I did put a little bit of black in there and it was no good. I dabbed it on with the paper towel. It was no good. So I just went ahead and just painted over it. I thought it might look good, but it didn't. See how you get that little marbling effect? I'm not done. I gotta keep on. You just don't know when to stop. But I did. And there we go. There's our walkway. Now, I do not have a house to attach this to, so I just did this one just to show you how to do it. I wanted to try to make it as simple as possible. So now it's dry. Quite a bit of drying time. And then here I come with the glue again. Now I put glue on top of this, not a lot, just to seal in the paint. But you could use Mod Podge. I couldn't find mine. Or you could use like a sealant, a clear spray sealant, just to ensure that the paint's going to stay on there. In case in any way, form, it would get wet or something. The paint's not going anywhere. It's sturdy. And there you go. There's the walkway. It's easy, and I love it, and it looks so nice when it goes on the houses. It really makes a difference. And I'm going to show you some samples. I hope I explained this nice and simple for you, and I hope that I inspired you to go ahead and try this.